think it's important for a woman to have some power. And I'm not talking about, aggro power. I think instead of power, I think maybe the term should be options. I think women should always know that they have options. So I'm a Christian woman, right? I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. That's it. That's my faith. And I believe that in an orderly home where God is first, the husband is under God, and then the female is next to the husband. Or I believe in submission. Now, that's a fairly controversial topic, but here's the thing. If you are a woman that doesn't have their own money, and maybe not just your own money, but options. If your husband tells you to do something and you have to do it because otherwise you'd be out on the street, that's called obedience. You're like a dog. But if you are a woman with power and you can say no, you can say no, you can survive on your own, you can thrive on your own, and your husband asks you to do something, right? And you say, sure, I'll do it. You know what my husband says? He says, thank you. Thank you so much. Because he knows I don't have to. He knows I don't have to obey. He knows I don't have to submit. But because we are powerful together, we're equal.
Good afternoon and welcome to Hashtag with Idalis, the space dedicated for conversation about the wellness, health, aesthetics, beauty, innovation, entrepreneurship, and the leaders who are transforming our industry. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode with Idalis Beauty Savvy. As you know, Idalis Bailey is a global leader in interior beauty, registered nurse in marketing, and skincare specialist with more than 30 years experience in the beauty industry. CEO and founder of Global Interior Beauty, Renew Aesthetics, and Idalis Beauty Savvy. Today, I have the pleasure of welcoming a true visionary and powerhouse in the beauty industry. She is an entrepreneur, educator, mentor, and inspiring leader who has transformed her passion for permanent makeup into a global industry business. She's a founder of Sheila Bella Microblading, establishing in 2011 and creator of Pretty Rich Bossy, a mentorship platform dedicated to helping beauty entrepreneurs building successful business and achieve finance freedom and create the legacy. Today, we have a pleasure to introduce Sheila Bella. Welcome, Sheila. How are you today?
Oh, Idalis, I love being with you. I love observing you. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I think you're such an inspiring entrepreneur through and through. I think it's in your blood. And when I see you, I feel like we speak the same language of entrepreneur. It's so nice.
100% agree with you, and I really feel so comfortable to discover it every single day more women passionate in the same industry, but also just thinking the different way today with the new generation that the best way is to working together. I feel so happy to be connecting with you from the first day that we met in Skin Game event. It was a beautiful an event too. Can you tell us about your beginning? How did you start in this beauty industry?
Oh my goodness. How did I get started? I've always loved makeup. I think us, that's probably the story of all of us, especially us, beauty girls. I remember when my parents, we didn't start out wealthy. I'm an immigrant from the Philippines. I came here to the United States when I was 8 years old. And my parents used to sell tools at the swap meet. I don't know if you remember what the swap meet is. It's on the weekend,
Mhm.
really early. You lay down some tarp and they sold tools at the swap meet. And I remember at the swap meet, they were giving out these like eyeshadow samples or something like that. And I got myself a red eyeshadow palette, my very first one. And it had like six colors. It had a bunch of browns, and then it had one blue that was like really muted. And I wasn't allowed to wear makeup, but I had this and I kept it a secret from my mom. And I would take my finger and I would put it on my eyelids, and I
Mhm.
felt so much prettier. And that's kind of the obsession with makeup, how it started. And when I was about 29, 30 years old, somewhere around there, I found myself divorced. I was leaving a relationship that just was not working. And also, I found myself jobless because I just got fired from a serving job. I was serving as a waitress on Hollywood and Vine, and I was not good at that job for sure. I would have fired me too. I really understand. But I just found myself at rock bottom, starting over, didn't know what to do with my life. I didn't have a degree. I didn't have, super rich parents. I didn't have like a rich boyfriend or anything like that. And then so I decided to take a permanent makeup class because I was so desperate for something fast. And the permanent makeup class was 5 days, 5 days for a brand new career where you can charge $500 for tattooed eyebrows. Now, first of all, you do not learn in 5 days. But at the time, for where I was desperate. And I believed that if I just work hard enough, I could figure it out. So 5 days is how long it took for me to change my life and change my career. And I was kind of shoved into it because I felt like I had no other choice. And would you believe it? Within 3 years of me taking that permanent makeup class, I was making $250,000 a month.
Wow, that's amazing.
But either way, you have to understand, I was such a loser. And the thing is, the training I got was very short. And no shade to my trainer, she did her best. But back then, the requirements were so bad. And sometimes they still are. But I really worked hard to make sure that I didn't damage anyone's face but I was doing celebrities by year 2 or 3, and the people around here in Los Angeles who were doing this for 20 years didn't have the clientele I did. They were so much better than me. So much better than me. I was new. I took a 5 day class. And that's when I realized that my genius was in marketing.
Yeah, but you know what? That's amazing because I'm doing the same than you. I'm a nurse. I was working in the hospital like 2 years just as a nurse inside, and then I just tried to look in the way how to help people.
Mm.
Between the as a nurse, but I feel like I want a community. I want something to work
Yeah.
with a lot of women in this field. So, and then I was working in the corporation, 10 years in the corporation for a multinational pharmaceutical company as a nurse too. But still, I still miss something like you discover your passion in marketing, in connection, in help people, in grow all together.
Yeah.
So I think that at the end of the day, the 5 year, all the time that they took for you to continue growing as a makeup, as a professional in the industry, but you still mix that part. It was the best foundation. It
Mm.
was the best connection to
Mhm.
building your own community that you have today.
Mm.
And today you have so amazing experience. You connecting everyone. You help everyone to grow their name, their brand, and their expertise. in the marketing position. I love, yesterday I was looking for your reel, and I love it when you say how you can sell without be noticing that you are selling. And I was listening step by step. Oh my God, it's so amazing. It's so natural. But I really appreciate the work that you are doing because it's, it's from your heart, it's your passion. When you transmit that information with your experience, it's coming with your heart. It's real and it's very easy to understand. So thank you, Sheila, for all that many years of experience that was working very hard. And finally, today you develop, you discover your success, your love. And the most important is what is the work that you are building to inspire the new professional and show the professional and the other professional they can do the same than you and better than you. And
Mhm.
that's a really good. That's why we are here.
Hey, stop for a second. Did you know that most people who watch the CEO Glow Show are not even subscribed? What? So, if you are on a mission to level up your beauty business, your family life, your prayer life, hit that subscribe button now so we can stay in touch.
What was the first step that you took to grow your brand?
First step that I took to grow my brand. Oh, several steps, but one of the first steps I took was even though I was a solo entrepreneur and it was just me and a room, I wanted to position myself as an expert. And when I was little, I'm Filipino, your parents, especially when you're Asian, they all want you to be a doctor, right? Because
Yes.
make a lot of money. So my parents always said, oh, you want to go to medical school? They always praise that. But here I was with this obsession for makeup with a high school diploma. But since I realized that permanent makeup was somewhat clinical, I started wearing a lab coat. And that very small change of wearing a lab coat for consultations made people respect me more. And I started acting like an expert before I felt ready. I started, quote unquote, prescribing a brow treatment, versus showing them a menu. You could do this, you could do this, you could do this, you could this, you could this. And that's waiter energy. That's the job I got fired from. Right? When you show people a menu is like Cheesecake Factory. And I started giving them a very confident prescription. And I would say, based on what you told me about your brows, this is what you need. And I started doing that really confidently in a lab coat, charging, several $100s and eventually $1,500. And I think that's sometimes you just need to act like the expert before you feel like the expert, because the truth is, between the two of you, between you and the client, you are the expert. Maybe you're the expert in the room. Maybe there's people in the world that are smarter, but they don't have access to those people. They have access to you. They're asking you for your advice. And it's just you and that girl in one room or on the phone. And between the two of you, you are the expert. So you better act like it.
Excellent, Sheila. Excellent. I think that this is the big mistake, and I don't think that is mistake. Maybe is the lack of the information of the professional today. Everything that you want to do in life, you have to visualize yourself as the best one.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, as you say,
Mm.
nobody know more than you, because there is so many estheticians, so many doctors, so many
Yes.
different expertise, but each one have the authentic.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot clone you, Sheila. You can teach me to do it, but I have to do with in my side.
Mm-hmm.
So the best way to show individual is to show the community very professional, very confident, secure,
Mm-hmm.
and always visualize to be the best. Is the patient. As you say, I have my lab, I have my name here, I
Right.
have my license around myself, and I always say, you don't coming to my consultation to pay for a treatment. You pay for my experience, and you have to show them that confidence, that the credibility, everything we have to building in the time. It's not take your class and fly, because that's not the way how it works. It's just that's why so many years of experience that you have,
Mhm.
that either me that I have the experience, I learning from you, because
Oh.
we learning every single day from different people.
Mm.
And always the idea is to be open and be all together and continue working together, always to do new things, new opportunities, and also share beautiful experience too.
Mm.
So many beauty professionals have a talent, but they don't know how to build a business. What is the best advice for them from your side? Because you have all the beautiful experience from all your young history.
Oh, so many things, so many things. I guess the first thing I would say is the road to yes is paved with no's. I forgot who said that, but I want you to change your mindset. Instead of trying to collect yeses, I want you to collect no's. Because
Excellent.
the only way you're going to get to a yes is if you get through enough no's. So if you're not getting enough no's, you're not trying. So I'm talking about posting, even people not liking what you're doing, talking to potential clients. You want, getting, I'm not interested, several times a day, because that's the only way to get the sale, is to go through people who aren't interested. There's no other way. The only way to get followers is to post your content and risk people not liking what you said or what you're doing. Um, Collaborations. Get people to say, I'm not interested in working with you. But the more no's you collect, I have to say, it really correlates to how much success you have. The people who've won didn't just get a bunch of yeses. The people who've won that we admire now have collected more no's than anybody
Yes,
else.
yeah, that's true. I agree with you, and I really appreciate for this open mind to be together in collaboration and growing together, because never, never, ever is going to be a competition when we are working together. Never. And I agree with you. To get success, you have a collection of no.
Mhm.
And then from that 50 no, you get 2 or 3 yes, but successful yes. And that's the idea. How we can do it? Try. We have to try. We have to knock the door today. If they open the door, yes, that's amazing. They say no. Why no? Because maybe we are building recently, we're building the small community, and they want big community. Yes, I understand. Maybe one day I can be in your feet. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, but for another community, yes, I'm the community that they're looking for. Again, in that way, I really, really like it, because you have big mind, and that's the truth. You have big mind. The big mind is not always thinking in quantity, it's thinking in quality. And that's our 100% purpose in our community. Diversity, inclusion, and also quality. Quality, very selective. When you are ready about your passion, your name, and you're ready to scale the business, that's the perfect space for you, because you are not alone. You are with another group who are ready to grow and bright all together. That's the big difference. That's why we are here, and I really appreciate your big mind to continue working with in collaboration. I don't lose anything, you don't lose anything. We value ourselves, but also we continue working together. Yes, let's go. You create the Pretty Rich Boat to help women grow. Why it is important for women to believe in themselves and become business owner.
I think it's important for a woman to have some power. And I'm not talking about, aggro power. I think instead of power, I think maybe the term should be options. I think women should always know that they have options. So I'm a Christian woman, right? I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. That's my faith. And I believe that in an orderly home where God is first, the husband is under God, and then the female is next to the husband. Or I believe in submission. Now, that's a fairly controversial topic, but here's the thing. If you are a woman that doesn't have their own money, and maybe not just your own money, but options. If your husband tells you to do something and you have to do it because otherwise you'd be out on the street, that's called obedience. You're like a dog. But if you are a woman with power and you can say no, you can say no, you can survive on your own, you can thrive on your own, and your husband asks you to do something, right? And you say, sure, I'll do it. You know what my husband says? He says, thank you. Thank you so much. Because he knows I don't have to. He knows I don't have to obey. He knows I don't have to submit. But because we are powerful together, we're equal. You know what I mean? We're equal. But if you're a woman who's helpless, I just feel like you're not able to be your authentic self. When my husband asked me to do something and I acquiesced and I said, okay, certainly. He says, thank you. He's relieved because I am a woman who has skills. I'm
And
capable.
thank you to share that, because sometimes we get a couple or we get married, we think that our life finished. It's just only mother and have a kids, and we don't have the opportunity to build in our passion to continue. If you don't work for any corporation or any company, you think that your life is at the end of the life. So I think it was amazing opportunity to share this. But also, when you are an entrepreneur like you and me, I would love to talk something very important today. Personal branding is very important. How can beauty professional create a strong personal brand? There is so many people still are talking about like a why you put your name, why you put your personal brand in your business. uh, Before corporation, they never mention about the name of the owner of the company. The community didn't know who was the owner of the corporation, because it was totally different. But why today is it very important, the personal brand in this community?
Well, it is a miracle of an age that we're living in, where the average person can have a following. Before, when I was a kid, I'm 44 years old. I have 3 children. I'm happily married. I was born in the 80s. I was born in 1982. And back then, I looked up to Debbie Gibson, Madonna, celebrities. That's who I looked up to. But now my children look up to everyday people, a real estate agent, right? A stay-at-home mother, a guy, Paul Ziegler, who lives in the woods, and he doesn't sing, he doesn't dance, he doesn't act, but he lives this really interesting life. There's a couple that this family, they live on a boat. That's what they do. They live in a boat, and you can create content and create a personal brand as yourself, as yourself. I think it would be a shame to not maximize this opportunity to be just you and create a personal brand, because these days people buy from people. If you look at the marketing and research data, people don't buy from brands anymore. The reason why we buy honest skincare products and like baby products is because of Jessica Alba, right? The reason why we buy Kylie Cosmetics is because of Kylie. The reason why we buy Skims is because of Kim. The reason why we buy Rhode is because of Hailey Bieber. And even smaller brands, we buy from each other. The trust factor is so much more. You don't need a lot of followers to create a personal brand or to build trust with someone. Especially now in the world of AI, being human is more precious than ever. So I think it's really important to build a personal brand, and it's going to become more and more valuable in the future, not less.
That's amazing. That's amazing information because today, remember, life change, new generation, new globalization, everything is changing. And the most important is always be open mind and be updating. Before years ago, all generation they believe in the war. He's a person very famous, and the war of Idalit Bailey in the 2020, she was talking about blah 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 blah. Perfect. Everyone believed in my word because it was noticing only word. Today, that word doesn't exist. If there is no content, the real content from Idalis, it's not true. So we have to show today. Before was, total different. So that's why we have to be open mind today and try to get balance and be updating with everything. People wants to buy the product or the service from real person for real experience, for a person who have credibility, for a person who have good testimonial, for a person who are doing the changing in the life. And that's why it's so important to connecting with the personal brand. Usually entrepreneurs today, like you, like me, I have my personal brand, que es Idali Beauty Savvy. Idali Beauty Savvy is the personal brand who connect with Global Interior Beauty and Renew Aesthetic Medical Spa. So why? A lot of people have a medical spa, a lot of people have a community, but no one's have Idalis Bailey. Idali Beauty Savvy is a personal brand who connect those two community. And that's why people love to see real person that who are working in front of the community with the service, with the product, with the conference. That was the way that we connected together when we met each other in that event with your personal brand. Oh my goodness, I love it when I just get there and I meet you. And I love how you represent your brand. Beautiful with the good clothes, like fashion. You have everything together. And believe or no, you create not only the personal brand, you have authentic name, personality, and personal brand who connect with your service. And beside that, the testimonial with the real result that you offer. That's amazing. So I'm so happy. I want to invite all the Global Interior Beauty community to be part of your community and your amazing work, because the same way that you are growing, I want to help all of them to grow too. That's the purpose of this community, working all together. If you have the power and the spirit and the result to do that, you are welcome to Global Integral Beauty Community. And that's why we are inviting you to be part of this fixed anniversary, October 17th, in Global Integral Beauty in the Maru Marquez Hotel, Sheila.
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I love New York. I love New York, and I love connecting with people who want to connect, who step out of their comfort zone, other business owners. I have such an admiration for them because they're so brave. It's not easy. And I think you, Idalis, providing this community for everyone is such a testament to your good-natured heart.
Sheila, why you think, talk about all the community, why you think it's so important to be part of the Global Interior Beauty Conference in this industry? Why do you think, why do you think that networking is so important, connection is so important, and just be open to continue grow all together? Tell me a little bit, because I want that you invite all your community too and be all together and prepare ourselves for this amazing event all together globally.
Yes. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be at Global Integral Beauty in October 17th of this year in New York City. And I have to say that you can connect with people through social media. You can connect with Edalis. You can connect with me on social media. But there's something about meeting in person. Let's not forget to be human. Somebody is more likely to support you, to help you, to teach you, to pour into you if they're looking at you straight in the eyes, holding your hand, connecting as human beings in the same room versus just a digital avatar. And I have to say, the times in my career where I have excelled and grew exponentially, those quantum leaps, has always been in person at a conference. It is worth every penny. It is worth the time investment. It is worth the get the babysitter. It is worth leaving your business for a few days because your business will grow exponentially by you making this investment.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for sharing your story today. And also thank you to accept our invitation as a VIP because your experience is going to be all over of the Global Integral Beauty Conference on October 17. I want that you introduce yourself and help everyone in this industry to continue working together. That's our purpose, and that's why we are connecting with our passion. And that's the most important for you. I would love that you share with all the community where they can find you, where your information. Tell me a little bit about yourself and just spread out for all the persons who are connecting today.
Yes, absolutely. So you can find me on Instagram at Real Sheila Bella. You can find me on YouTube as well. I have the CEO Glow Show. I've had my podcast since 2018. My goodness. And you can listen to my podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Just type in Sheila Bella.
Thank you, Sheila, to accept our invitation to be one of the VIP guests for October 17 on the Mario Marquez Hotel in New York, in the city that we never sleep. And also, it's going to be our fifth anniversary.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for inviting me. This is going to be my first year, and I encourage everybody to, at the event, come up and say hi. I love meeting people in person. So thank you so much, Edalis. I have such admiration for you and what you've created.
Okay, it's the same. So we thank you, everyone who don't have the opportunity to connect in today in our podcast. Everything is going to be in our social media. It's a Global Integral Beauty community and also Global Integral Beauty conference. So, and just stay tuned for the next podcast.